All right, welcome to the latest episode of the Home Power Organic Fitness Podcast. This is a solo Q&A with the likes of TikTok Live over here on my right-hand side. For those watching it is on the finest YouTube. So it's Q&A. We got a hen, a doe, a three, a four. That's four in Irish. For those of you that are non-Gregor speakers, as the rain tipples down behind me here, I most certainly am going to run through these questions in today's live podcast. So, what do I think of fasting? That comes from Game for Dubs on TikTok. Okay, we most certainly have the next question about fasting. That was fasting. The next one we go on to for one food that I regularly would eat. That comes from Kate, all the way from Canada. These questions come from all over. And then we have from Rob on TikTok recommending, I was touching on a point about recommending protein and healthy fats for most certainly hair health. And he says, but nuts have high calories when trying to keep weight down. That's from Rob. Then we have from Eric or Ely over on TikTok. We have medicinal plants to grow at home and their benefits. That one's kind of an area of my expertise, even not the whole area expertise, but nonetheless, that's a good one. Okay, so starting off at the top, tippy. We've got, what do I think of fasting? Okay, straight up, fasting has major benefits, okay, for improved cognitive function. It's something that gives the digestive system a bit of a break. But more often than not, when people say, what are the benefits of fasting? What do I think of it? It's more so they are looking for it for a tool for weight loss. And yes, it can help you most certainly to lose weight. But if you don't understand foods enough, then fasting is like having a sledgehammer hitting in a nail into a wall. It will work, but sometimes you might miss. If you ever held a sledgehammer, you know all about this. And you ever also held a nail. I'll even go as far as a pin. Held a pin with the likes of a sledgehammer. You will and might even knock it out of the park, drive it through the wall, and then now it's just worked out lovely. That you may end up most certainly overdoing it and end up undereating. When you undereat, you tend to binge eat, and that's an absolute killer for anybody, I suppose, trying to get a grips on their health and fitness. So one of the first things I do with people would get them to understand how many proteins, fats, and carbohydrates you need to eat in a day. And more often than not, people are under eating protein. More often than not, people are under eating healthy fats. And carbohydrates you're getting in abundance, and complex carbohydrates I do recommend at that. Why fasting can improve the likes of your brain function is because the whole digestion process is something that can be quite taxing on the body. Because think of it, you must consume a volume of food. Typically, we're eating 3 meals a day, and that has to be all broken. Firstly, chewed, that we're skipping that stage inevitably in itself. Then the point that often people don't realize, if you don't chew it, you're playing catch up for the rest of that activity, the digestion process. And again, most people don't cut their food and prep it themselves, which again, you're missing a stage of salivating. The whole digestive process starts the second you buy, you pick, you harvest your own food or get it at a country market, you bring it home and prep it on a chopping board. That the more often that people skip this, okay, it leads to poor gut health. That's where you can have the added advantage of improving your digestive enzymes if you are most certainly fasting, because you're thinking about food for a longer period of time. And it's giving your whole, I suppose, system that little bit of a break when you are fasting or not consuming foods. And to me right now, I'm fasting. Do I fast? Yes, I do. What am I drinking? I'm drinking most certainly warm water. And typically, I put herbs in it. So that's something that aids in digestion. And don't be worried about, does the like of the parsley have a couple of calories in it? For the most part, it's the large food items that has to be broken down by a beneficial gut bacteria that are the things that people talk about when they break the fast. And that's what it is. Whatever time that you most certainly do eat. And I touched on this in a podcast. It was on Inner Fight podcast, which is a massive podcast on a regular basis, and it's out there and on my stories as of now, but it also is on Spotify. Inner podcast, Marcus Smith, really good show. And I was touching on the fact of organics is actually BS. So if you hadn't heard that or seen it on my stories as of today, I would check that out now if I was watching live on TikTok. So that is definitely something that is worth noting for people who are thinking about doing fasting. I do fasting. Why? Because it suits me. It's not because it's any particular one diet that I like or enjoy. I don't even like being put in a box. Those people watching on YouTube, it is something that literally puts people into a bracket and say that I'm fasting and I can't go out of this. If I wanted to have my breakfast at a specific time, a little bit earlier in the morning, just because of other things or commitments, that'll be absolutely fine. Because I have no problem coming out of the box and get people to be more so you. Come out of the box, turn into a you. That's how it works. Being you is being me. You be you, and I be me. That's really important. So straight away then after that, I get people to, okay, go on to the next thing that we're talking about. Okay, if I was to eat one thing on a regular basis, and get people to add it into their diet, this comes in from Kate from Canada, it would most certainly be fermented foods. There's studies to say that you are much better off to add in fermented foods into your diet, more so to benefit your gut health than eating whole foods. That is just literally any single ingredient, whether fruits or vegetables. Why? Because there are hundreds, if not thousands, of beneficial bacteria living in fermented foods. And what are the fermented foods that I recommend? They would definitely be sauerkraut, kimchi, and I'm going to be making my own with cabbage that I have grown in the likes of the veg patch that people can do themselves at the Grow Your Own course that's on today. Yeah, you check that out. This one's sold out completely. And after that, what we're touching on is inflammatory bowel disease, to be correct. Yes, and that would definitely help with that. If anybody is suffering with inflammation, improving your gut health will definitely be key for that. And how do you do that? Okay, start eating higher antioxidant foods that reduce inflammation. And that comes definitely from cabbage that is fermented, which makes it easier to digest and more nutrients bioavailable. So that's great for that individual and is for anybody who's just looking for optimal health. Because when you improve your gut health, you improve not only your stomach, but your production of the happy hormones, your skin health. Why? Because when your beneficial bacteria are increased, they get the opportunity to break down more material than we otherwise would have. So there's more of them there. They break down the foods that we have on a regular basis. And after that, what ends up happening is the more nutrients are available, your body is able to have more energy. When you have more energy, you're much more likely to be active and most certainly be more productive and certainly then exercise. These are key things for health that happen when you start to improve your diet with that one thing. I literally could have chose so many different things. But okay, we'll touch on other probiotics, but that's what those are, fermented foods. You can go with miso, which is fermented. The one that I currently have is fermented brown rice. It's from Spring Water. If those of you ever would like a brand that I currently use, it's in loads of the cooking videos that I have up on YouTube as of now. And the next thing I would definitely recommend that would be fermented would be yogurts. Yogurts are unbelievably easy to add to your diet. They're key if you're on the go and looking for a healthy snack. They're high in protein. You can get them high in healthy fats. And more often than not, you can get them quite easily with the logo determining them being organic, the green registered leaf. Look out for that. That's key, because if you are consuming dairy products that have been fed GMO grain, that's typically been sprayed, that's going to have negative effects on your gut health. Those are just small, I suppose, little things for people to note if you're looking for the best foods for yourself. That's why I get people either to go to a country market, we can get yogurts, or go to health food shops, or just get the ones that are in the standard stores and you can get your hands on a more regular basis. Because the more you do that, the better it is about. Just have someone coming in here. I'm sure it's going to be a great question. So we have come from user 4483. What about the high sugar in yogurts? Yes, there are better yogurts than others, and that's why it's really important to most certainly get yogurts that have and are natural. Okay, whether it's Greek yogurt, normal, what do they call it? Normal flavor, just without the added flavors of strawberry, of berries, typically blueberry flavor, or we'll call it banana. Some yogurts are okay. These are flavors that we can add. Mixed berries, mixed berry yogurts. These are flavors that we can definitely add in naturally from whole foods and gain the advantage of fiber. When you gain the advantage of fiber, you are an absolute winner for helping your gut. Okay, those added sugar granules that you don't see, but we consume if you eat those types of yogurts. And I used to eat them too. I used to fall into that trap. I used to have Unken. Those you know what it is, Google it. Like the spelling, UNKU. Unken. Unken yogurt. Because I saw they were listed at one time, had relatively high protein. Oh my God. The amount of sugar and the spots, that's inflammation at its smallest level in the body, spots on your face typically. And that's something I do not recommend to people to consume on a regular basis. Yogurts with high sugar. And I used to have Petit Fallows. I'm naming out these now because I don't currently have them anymore. And I actually, that was at a younger stage, but I don't, off the top of my head, I wouldn't know if they were relatively high in protein. But they are deemed and were deemed a healthy, most certainly, food item to consume. And then the other things that were also labeled as Yakult. And after that, you had the point of another one that comes to mind, Actimel. Who remembers those? Actimel, something fierce than them all. And that was their slogan. So I butchered, nonetheless, it went in a tune like that. And it was interesting because it was getting children, more kids, to say to their mothers and fathers, yes, I want those Actimels. And once they were at home, mother and father were drinking them, and I was drinking them too. However, they were high sugar, and it did not help me and my gut issues for autoimmune eczema and mild asthma. Those are things that you can most certainly get much more better advantage from. Another probiotic, which is kefir. You can get water kefir, you can get dairy kefir, and it's something that I do recommend to people if they're going to go down the route of improving your gut health naturally. That's a classic question in from Kate that I wouldn't have thought of, and that's what I want. If you have any questions that you would like shouted out or further expanded, not just in a post, but on the likes of this podcast, you pop it to me, send it to me privately, and I give it to you and expand on it in the likes of these 30-40 minute sessions. Can it be bad to drink too much orange juice, freshly squeezed stuff? And that's a really good question as well. And I'll just expand on that because that can cause inflammation in the gut because it's excessive amount of sugar, it's liquid calories, and you're missing out on the fiber. And it's something that we used to do as well at home. This interaction. It's the excessive amount of anything. And in Ireland, where I'm currently based right now, it is coming into the winter. We are not typically meant to have sweet fruits at this time of year. The body goes in cycles, okay? I typically live by that as best I possibly can for optimal health, and definitely recommend to people who are looking to lose weight in a healthy way naturally, okay? So touching on that point, I don't drink a lot of orange juice. In fact, it'd be very, very rare that I would have it. Maybe with I don't say a Bloody Mary, but I'd say I've had one of them once. And is there orange juice in that? I think it's tomatoes. I much prefer something with tomatoes in it. But getting back to the point, orange juice isn't something that I would have in my diet on a regular basis. It wouldn't be the first thing I'd recommend. Right now, I'll be recommending more so things with apples in it that are natural prebiotics, good for, okay, your gut health. They come into season for a reason. Okay, so the whole idea of Halloween and bobbing for apples at this time of year is because that was what nature designed them for. Kids at a young age improving their immune system because 70% of it is located in your gut. And it is something that I do get people to consume apples organically. Why? Because they can be sprayed up to 10 times in a growing season. That's crazy until you actually see it. And I've visited organic farms, and most certainly I've visited commercial farms, and they got sick. So if you pick up an apple and you say, oh God, it's a bit waxy, this apple is a bit waxy, and you'd be rubbing on your shirt might take off some of the chemicals, but really they're embedded in the likes of the skin, and most certainly is something that often people say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So that's key, but only when it's organic. And the point of which the next question that kind of came in here from the live is thoughts on turmeric, something I would have every day. Okay, it naturally is one of those prebiotic things. So your gut health is improved by pre and pro. We've touched on a pro, this is the fermented foods. And now we're on to the pro. There's a section in my book, The Organic Fitness. Bear with me. It's called The Power of Organic Fitness. And this book is officially an Amazon #1 bestseller. So if you haven't heard about this, you've been living under a rock. This one is an absolute cracker and perfect for one coming up to Christmas. It's available on Amazon or all good bookstores. If it's not in a bookstore near you, let me know and I will get it there. Santa will bring it in a sled and get it to your store. So that's that book right there, hitting it up. And I do love, so most certainly, that I touched on turmeric and its benefits in that book particularly. So turmeric is something that is a food item that is high in antioxidants. Okay, these antioxidants reduce stress and inflammation on the body. When you reduce the inflammation, especially in the gut, you heal the whole body. You set it off right. Okay, there's typically it's noted as your second brain. In fact, your gut would more so for me in particular be labeled as your first brain. It controls everything because why? The foods that we eat are information. That's key. Foods that you eat are most certainly information, and we eat typically 3 times a day, sometimes even more. And that is something. Awesome. I didn't know you had a book. Just someone just said there. Yes, I have a book, and this is it. It is a green cover with me wearing a green top. It says CPUF on it, and it says get on the good stuff on the back. That is the way to do it. So yeah, someone touching in about other orange colored foods or yellow, maybe more so, are pineapples. Pineapples, do I recommend them? It wouldn't be the first thing again that I recommend to people, but it's based in Ireland. But if you like pineapples, have had it. It's not that I'm getting people to not eat foods that are from whole food sources. If it's getting you off processed foods and alcohol and sugary items, added sugar items, it is definitely wholeheartedly something I'd recommend. But depending on the country you're living in, there are other foods that it would be and may be better off for you to consume that are in season, if you can get them local, if you can get them organic. And pineapples actually wouldn't be one of those ones that I'd be majorly worried about getting them organically, but I do want people to consume organic like I wanted, and it will be. Stay tuned for this. You can cut this out. Organic food will be the standard, okay, in the near future. You will walk into a shop and you won't find it difficult. You will find it difficult to continue on finding commercially grown, large scale, non-organic produce. Why? Because more and more people are buying it. And if they're not buying it, they're growing it themselves. And why? Because people want to be healthier. People want optimal health from the foods that they eat, and they want to enjoy their life. Because your health is your wealth, and that's one of the things that's massively important. When you get older, as you age, you'll pay anything to have better skin. You'll pay to have better teeth. You'll pay for better hair health. You'll pay to must reduce your wrinkles, and food can do all those things, and that's amazing. And it's really, really key, because as you get older, I'm telling you, you'll be talking about, will I get this job done? Will I get my hair done? Will I get whatever the point of which is? I'm glad that I said that in this podcast. It was a classic. It's so much cheaper in America to buy the poisonous processed foods rather than the organic health. Okay. And I want you to remember that you either pay for your health right now or you pay for it later. Because a lot of people are saying then, I'm sick, and they come to me, I put them back on to a cleaner diet, and that changes their life big time. There's loads of testimonials and people that I train from America, from Canada, from the UK and Australia and Ireland, that too. It's something that people have to take control. Okay, whatever money you currently have or making, do your best to get things organically. Okay, and I'm touching on this point, it doesn't have to be labeled organic. Get it chemical free. Go to a country market and get connection with the farmer. And once you do that, you have a better idea of where food comes from and how it's being produced. So you can definitely improve your health. That brings me on lovely to Rob's question in relation to recommended nuts and that are high calories, because I was touching on the point of hair health. Okay, so other foods that definitely can improve, and he was worried about the high calories of nuts. I would never be worried about whole foods that contain high calories. It's more so processed foods that are killing people. Okay, nuts are not your problem. Healthy fats in oils are not your problem. It's alcohol. It's processed foods. It's biscuits, it's chocolates, it's cakes, it's desserts. I have no problem with people eating those. It's just the fact that people are demonizing cooking oils. They've come up with 0-calorie spray, which is not natural. And I want people to get into their head that whole foods have got to be key for you if you're looking to improve your health. It's simple, it's easy once you know how and somebody passed on the information to you. And yes, definitely buying the book. Recently diagnosed with autoimmune, trying to heal naturally with foods, and that's what we're bringing me on lovely too. So Rob, don't ever be worried about it. So if you are looking for improved hair health, selenium from the likes of Brazil nuts would definitely be one. Brazil nut is going to get you your holy daily recommended amount of selenium. After that, if you are getting it from fish, you are an absolute bread winner, because yep, you not only get selenium, but you also get protein. And if you're worried about having a high healthy fats, if you already had some healthy fats in the day, add in whitefish. Whitefish doesn't have most certainly as much of the healthy fat that I had in my dinner last night. That's up on Instagram posts. Is it on TikTok? No, it's on Instagram posts. See, so if you're not following me on Instagram, check that out. It's Coleman Power Organic Fitness. It's just my name, Colman. No E, Power. There's no one else. There's no other Coleman Power Organic Fitness. Making it even more unique, if that was at all possible. So yeah, Rob, that's a great question. And healthy fats are essential for hair health. So is protein, because that's what makes up your body and every cell in it and what it's made from. What's your body made up from? Cells and both your muscles. That's why it's important to eat protein and healthy fats as well. They're both essential. Essential. All right. Is crab good meat? Yes, it is. I love crab. I love crab. It's most certainly, again, a classic way of getting in essential protein and healthy fats into your diet. Now we're coming on to one of the final questions, and this is wrapping up lovely. Sourdough with avocado. Unreal. Keep that up. So touching on the point of medicinal plants to grow at home or add to your diet. That comes from Eric, my good man, over on TikTok. So, and Rob's was also over on TikTok. So we're touching on the top 3 plants that I recommend for you guys to grow or add to your diet. Top 1, basil. Holy basil, also known common name in America, is something that's in the book as well. These questions I couldn't have prepped them. Eric just asked that live. So we're going in on to that holy basil, the benefits of it. It's an adaptogenic herb, which means it helps your body to deal with stress. Okay, and that most certainly again comes into season for a reason. Basil, and during the summer, when things are all go, hectic, is one of those things that we will need more of. An abundance of it does come out of the ground or a pot where it must be grown inside in a polytunnel glass house, greenhouse, or a warm windowsill. Those are the 3 things that basil needs areas you should grow it on a regular basis, because it's from where? Hot, loving Mediterranean countries, Italy, that I will be visiting in the near future. So stay tuned for that. I'll definitely be recording it. Why? Because I record pretty much everything that I do and my travels from AN to BN to BN to AN. So yes, basil is one of the first things I do recommend. Antioxidants for a win, and very easy to grow. Okay, they're typically black seeds, beautiful black seeds. They're quite small, and I would sow 3, if not 5, per cell or per pot. So you can get a yogurt tub, pop a little hole in it. I do recommend yogurts, as I did in this podcast. Pop a little hole in it, put in your 3 to 5 seeds, and cover it over, warm windowsill. You in April, coming into spring, so it's not the time for sowing your basil. But if you have it in your polytunnel right now, you can still consume it. I love it. and you can make it when there's abundance of it. Make pesto for the times of the year, which I have with some Parmesan cheese and pink Himalayan salt and olive oil. Amazing, just great. Why? Because olive oil has omega-3, which again is really good for your skin health and is essential healthy fat for skin, hair, and healthy fats break down proteins that we consume on a daily basis. Yes, yes, oh yay. Get into healthy foods. So next one we're going to parsley, which I typically have in my beverage in the morning, okay, because why? It contains lutein and zeaxanthin. That is an antioxidant that improves blood flow to the back of the eye. So those of you guys that are looking for, okay, improved concentration, it's an alternative to coffee. And I do recommend that. Why? Because coffee can have a major negative effects on your, most certainly, sleep. Sleep is one of the pillars of health. We're going with oregano. You sow these once, this oregano seeds, or buy the plant, put it in your garden in a raised bed. You shall not have to buy it again. They last for an umpteen amount of times, years. Do you know what I mean? After it, just give it a little haircut. The guy might have to get very soon. So that's it. Those are the top three. They're extremely high in antioxidants, and even 10 times the amount of antioxidants that vegetables do. So antioxidants reduce stress. They improve most of your energy levels. That's what happens, and that's why I recommend them. And the last one, mint. You have a pot of mint, keep it in the pot. Don't put it into the ground because she will spread. She will take off like wildfire. And I cannot stress that enough. If you're thinking of growing, do not put mint anywhere near the ground. It's a rogue. It just goes from here to there. Going, gone. And that's something that I put in my top 4 and have put in my top 4. These questions come up because people are answering them, and that's why I wrote this book. This book is for helping people looking to improve their health in a healthy way. And if weight loss is most certainly their goal, building lean muscle, that's what I put into this book. Exercises, lifestyle, real foods, getting it local, growing it yourself, and doing your best to be your best. And that, in a nutshell, would most certainly be the whole emphasis of, and recap it, of fasting. Whether you do it or not, it's just something that fits into my diet that I do on a regular basis. I don't have my meal till 10 o'clock, first meal, but that's because it's when I take a break. That's the only reason. It's not that it's the best way. It's great, as I said, for, I suppose, giving your digestive system a little bit of a siesta so that it can, I suppose, your body can deal with other things, other processes more efficiently. And then we have the likes of the question from Kay from Canada. Foods that one food that I would highly recommend, it will be fermented foods and kimchi, which I'm going to be making myself and putting on like TikTok and YouTube. If you're wanting to know and see how that process is done in less than 60 seconds, I'll be showing you the whole process step by step. Then we went on to the likes of nuts, high calories and healthy fats. And if your goal is weight loss, don't ever be worried about nuts. Don't even be worried about oils. It's processed foods. And most certainly your lack of movement that is not serving you if you're looking for that specific fitness goal. Then going to medicinal plants. Remember these: the basil, the parsley, the oregano, the mint. People think I need notes. I don't need these notes. This is more keeping this on point for you guys. And those are the classic questions. So if you're watching live on YouTube, thank you so much for watching live. If you're not a current subscriber, please subscribe. That really does help with the whole point of getting out to more individuals, or sharing it on your stories is key and is something that I'm just trying to do, reach out to as many people as I possibly can. And I'm just going to touch on one little quick one that came in here. Is mayo bad? Mayo isn't something that I would typically reach for and put on my meals, because I would much prefer to eat a whole egg, which is made from, and cook it, because it is nature's multivitamin, and it has what oils, and especially the ones that people are more so consuming on a regular basis, it has oils that, such as vegetable oil made with it, which is a poor healthy fat, poor fats, and that most certainly can cause inflammation because it has higher omega-6. Omega-6 is inflammatory, omega-3 is anti-inflammatory. So if you are having mayo, it's not something I have a lot of, but I definitely would make it myself and add in extra virgin olive oil if I was to make it from scratch. Right, Joanna, shout out. Right, love ending these podcasts by saying stay tuned, stay classy, and keep it organic. And if, well, just before we have you, I have most certainly spaces available on the Organic Fitness one-to-one training program, taking on clients. If you would like to train with me, motivated, most certainly at your fitness level, with foods tailored that you like and enjoy. No point in me labeling food as good or bad if that doesn't work. No point in totally switching up your life. It's small incremental improvements for the win. And after that, I would most certainly say stay tuned, stay classy, and keep it organic.